I wanted to do an unboxing video of this new tarot deck that I got. It's called the Original Tarot, which is a uniquely stylized version of the Rider-Waite deck. So let's go ahead and open it and see what it looks like on the inside. So it has the little white book on the inside. This is nice. It has colored depictions of the cards on the left and the definitions on the right. I actually like the quality of the deck book as well. Okay, this is nice. Yeah, I like the little white book that comes with it. Normally I don't like them and I usually discard them, but I think I'll keep this one since it's handy reference and it looks very neat and I like the descriptions on them. Okay, so let's take a look at the cards. All right, wow. So I don't know if you can see the cards here have like this really nice finish to them. It's like a linen finish. And they slide really nicely actually across from over each other. So they're not sticking together. It has like a nice glide to it. So I like the quality of the finish already. As you can see, it's got like these colors which are really clearly defined. They look like they're digitally enhanced here or designed. So there's definitely an improved coloring that you can see. Nice. Actually, I really like this. Looking at all the cards here. World card. Nice. Look at all the wands. Yeah, you can really tell that this is done well because none of the colors are bleeding. They're all clearly within the drawing here. That's interesting. The coloring of the Knight of Wands horse is actually a bit darker than I anticipated seeing. So is this is her background. Definitely gives it a unique vibe and it looks a lot more realistic. Again, I really like the way that these cards kind of slide across each other. This is a really neat version, actually. I'm liking it. Okay, it's one of my favorites. I also like the suits of the cups. This is a darker sky than I'm used to seeing. It actually gives more of an appearance of like a nighttime because you have the moon. So definitely shows you the more. This even is a little bit grayer than what I've seen in other decks. Definitely more gray here as well. It's just kind of a darker gray. Okay. It's pretty nice. Yeah, so the colors on here definitely don't look like color crayons. They look like they're professionally done. And, you know, I just wanted to show you an example of what the original or the Rider-Waite deck looks like. This is a vintage copy before it had the copyright here on the bottom. So this is actually 1971, so it's vintage. It's not the original one, but it's a later dated one. So let's take a look here and compare some of the cards. Let me get that Eight of Cups if I can find it. Here we go. So this was the one of the ones that was the most striking to me, is the color difference. You can definitely tell it's just a darker shade. It's not as bright. This deck is pretty flimsy in comparison to this cardstock, which is pretty thick as well. And oh yeah, this is what the back looks like on these. So it's got kind of this cream tan color and this flower in the center here on all of them. Let's see what else. So yeah, oh yeah, let's look at this one. I also had felt like it was a bit striking as far as the difference. See how much darker the horse is, but I actually like that you can see his eyes on the horse. It looks like the horse has more character, like he's actually involved in what's going on instead of just kind of a monotone sort of object that this Knight of Wands is writing. So you can actually see there's more personality in the horse. The coloring is definitely way different, and it's a lot better. Yeah. I'm just looking at the details here. Yeah, see, I even like the flames that are coming out of the helmet here. They just pop a little bit more on this new deck as well. So that's what it looks like in comparison to this vintage Rider Tarot deck. And then also this is one of the, this is my personal deck that I use all the time. You can tell like the colors have worn off. This was my first deck ever. I think I got it like 13 years ago. But this is the US game system one. So it's kind of a common one that's in circulation now. This one has such a glossy, let's use a different example. This one's a little bit more intact. So this has such a glossy finish, and yes, it is a thicker card than like the 1971 deck that's really flimsy, but it's kind of like the same thickness as what I'm seeing here with the original tarot. But if you can tell, this is definitely has this sort of digitalized finish to it. It's this linen finish, and here we've got sort of like this kind of glare that we get from this glossy finish, and they're just different. They just look different. So let's see if we can compare some more cards here. Let's look for another one. Let's look for the world. I like the world in this one. There we go. So definitely you can see that this one has more of like a colored pencil kind of look to it, and this one's definitely more crayon-like. I like the skin tone better on this deck as well because it's definitely more realistic. This lady is a bit orange, and there's a distinction between her skin color and her hair that you're not really seeing here either. So that's interesting. Let's see what else. Yeah, it just looks overall more elegant, I think. Yeah. So I just wanted to show you a couple of Rider-Waite versions that I have, and then this is the new original version by Brigh. So if you're interested in getting this deck, I'll put the link below. Just gonna see how that shuffles here. I always do this every time I get a new deck. I do a spread just to see what the energy is like between me and the actual cards here. Let's take a look. Shuffles pretty nicely. I like that they feel sturdy, and yet it is a new deck, so they're not really, they haven't really curved yet or bent yet, so they're a little bit stiffer still, but they definitely shuffle nicely. They glide together nicely. I really love that. And it's a good size. It's just a standard size of here. the tarot that fits in your hand so nicely. What is this deck's message? Okay. So let's see here what we've got. Who is this deck? Huh. The card that I was most drawn to is Who, of course. So the personality of this deck is very fiery, it's very fun. This is the card of mutable fire, which is Sagittarius. So again, higher education, studies. You can even see divination sometimes from Sagittarius, but truth basically is what it says. It's the messenger of truth, and it comes through very quickly. So messages are bold. It's very honest. I like that. I like its personality. I was definitely drawn to that card when I first... Okay, so its greatest strength is the Three of Swords. I mean, I'm very familiar personally with the Rider-Waite deck, so this doesn't have anything to do, I think, with the reader, but I think it's more of like the strength of the deck is the contrast of colors, because look at how gray it is here in the background. And then you have the swords, which were about visual appearances, cognition, things that you can see with your eyes or think or hear. It's all very mental and very cerebral. So it's what you can see. And then you just have this like very bright colored red heart here in the center. So everything sort of draws your eyes to this color. So there's definitely a very stark contrast of color. So that's one of the differences. Let's see, that's the strength. The weakness is the Worlds, another card that I was drawn to. The World card is about exposure, and it's about being seen in the world. So it's one of maybe the so far less known decks. Maybe that's one of the weaknesses. But I would definitely recommend this deck. I like it. It looks professional, and I like the way it feels when I shuffle them, and the colors very nicely. So I think that might be just that it needs to be more in circulation. That's the weakness. Okay, tarot deck and readers. The Moon. Okay, so the Moon has to do with intuitions, insights, things like that. It's pretty standard. Also, the Moon is inconsistent, so I might end up truthfully using this deck more times than others. So it's not gonna be like my daily deck, although the Moon card does represent the day, right? Because the Moon is the energy of the day. So maybe I could do like a 1-card draw from it. Let's look at the message. The Hanged Man. It's like seeing things from a different perspective sometimes with the Hanged Man. So that's, I think, what its message is. It's like take a look at something from a different angle, or looking at something differently. Let's see what the Shadow card says. 10 of Wands. Okay. Well, Ten of Wands card is usually about pressure, or also one of the things, it could literally just be the weight, because it's actually a pretty like heavy deck. It's pretty thick. So I would say that he's like holding all of these cards, and he just looks like maybe all of these wands are individually each card or representative of that, because it's a pretty thick deck. So that's what I would say here. All right, so thank you for watching my unboxing video. Hope you liked this. If you like this video, leave a like. If you like my channel, please subscribe. And I would definitely recommend this deck. Check out some of my other unboxing videos, and take care.